From the Huntington Bank Studio, this is Colts 360.
They fly around, they make plays, they rally to the football, they play with a lot of vision on the quarterback. So you're really aware of where Aaron is, where Jalen Ramsey, another guy that's arguably the best at his position as well. And so you're aware of these guys, and they fly around, but at the same time, we're confident in our game plan.
We got to prepare for it all. Obviously, their identity, they're a bounce, boot, play-action team. And, like I said before, it starts off with stopping the run.
Welcome to this week's Colts 360. I'm Larra Overton, and looking ahead to yet another NFC West opponent as the Colts welcome the LA Rams in Week 2. It's a quarterback that the Colts faced just last season, but now Matthew Stafford in a new location leading Sean McVay's offense. But before we get to that matchup at hand this weekend, the Maniac was on the mic and wired for sound in Week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks.
Let's have one. Let's have a day.
The games begin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Start it right now.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on, man.
House, what today. That's all we got, baby. Let's go. Go get him. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Family. Go, Bobby. Ah, man. Cool. Let's go, baby.
Good luck, boy.
Appreciate it, my guy. Oh, yeah! Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Woo! Let's go, baby. Yeah. What's good, man?
See you, man.
Good luck, man. Take care, brother. Yes, sir. Come on. Come on, baby. Let's go. Watch hard counter early. Watch hard counter early. Let's go. We're here. Let's go. We're here. Y'all gotta want it. Y'all gotta want it, baby. So we just gotta play ball, baby. Yep. Hey, we need a takeaway. That's it. Just get a takeaway. Let's go. I ain't really hit nobody yet, bro. We need a 3-out on a takeaway. Let's go, fellas. Just do your job. Do your job and your job only. No! Come on! Go! Come on! Come on! You gotta love it, fellas. You gotta love it. Back against the wall. Let's go. You gotta step up and make a play, somebody. Let's go! Let's go! Yeah! Yeah, Buck! Yeah, Buck! Good work, baby. Oh, they hold. Whoa, you moving it up. Don't move it up now. I got my eyes on you. Hey, we gotta punch out. Punch out that ball, fellas. Just punch.
This weekend, the Colts will not only play host to the Los Angeles Rams, they will also welcome the newest Indianapolis inductees into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Both Edgerrin James and Peyton Manning will be honored at halftime and will receive their Hall of Fame rings. And while there will be plenty of celebrating for those two on Sunday, it will certainly be tough to top the celebrations that there were in Canton. And from the parade to the podium to the parties, Colts Productions was along for the ride into NFL history.
What's up, baby? All right.
I'm getting you a car, whatever car you want.
Oh, don't tell me
No,
that. You're that
anything you want. I don't care what you want, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini. Don't tell me a Bugatti because you get arrested then.
They ask about all running backs, but can he hit the edge? This guy is the edge. Edgerrin James. He's the first overall pick in the 1998 draft by the Indianapolis Colts. Followed was the stuff of legend.
To be inducted on the same weekend, one of my favorite teammates of all time, Edgerrin James, is a thrill. Being reunited with Edgerrin, my old teammates, the great Marvin Harrison, Marshall Faulk, our coach architect, Bill Polian, our coach leader, Tony Dungy, is really something special.
For some reason, I always had to deal with perception. People looked at my gold teeth and dreads and were shocked and surprised. I had never been under arrest or spent time in jail. So many people told me that you can't have dreads and gold teeth and be accepted in the NFL, but I never listened. To all those who have been judged prematurely because of the way they speak, where they come from, and in the minds of many should be locked up in prison, I represent us. I'm forever immortalized, locked up in the Canton Correctional Institution. Inmate number 336 in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My career started with gold teeth and ended with this gold jacket.
Here we go, 1, 2, 3.
We're playing the same offensive system we played last week, so as far as familiarity with it, as far as how we might want to attack it, I'm sure we'll change a few things up. But the more you get used to seeing a scheme, usually the better you get at defending it.
And still ahead in the show, the head coach on how the Colts are fueling their fire this week and out for revenge with another opportunity to defend home turf. That's next on Colts 360.
This message is brought to you by Meijer, official supercenter of the Indianapolis Colts and proud sponsors of hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. First and 10 inside the red zone at the 10-yard line, so first and goal. Wentz has time, fires upfield to Zach Pascal into the end zone. Is it a catch? The signal on the field is a touchdown! Touchdown! I-N-D-Y! Zach Pascal! 10-yard reception from Carson Wentz, who throws his first touchdown in a Colts uniform.
I know. First one in the receiver room. The first one in the season goes to the receiver room.
Back now on Colts 360 as the Colts prepare for Week 2 at home against the LA Rams, and joined by head coach Frank Reich. Coach, how do you strike the balance as you go into this week between the emphasis that was really heavily placed on getting that Week 1 win, but also the long season, the long stretch ahead, and being able to really gain strengths as the weeks go on over the course of the season, now with another great opportunity right back at home?
Yeah, we do have another great opportunity, Larra, and it really is talk about now getting into a rhythm. That first game's over with. Unfortunately, it was a difficult loss, but now it's, hey, use that frustration that we felt from losing that game to fuel the focus for Week 2. So get into that rhythm, all eyes on the Rams.
And you got right back in the building on Monday. It's a bit of a schedule change that you guys have in 2021 from what we've seen in seasons past. It used to be the Monday off day, and then the guys would get in the building on Tuesday. This year, you've shifted things around, so you're getting in the building on Monday. You're able to immediately not only make those adjustments, but go ahead and start game planning for the weekend ahead. What's the benefit that you've already seen from being able to do that, getting guys right back in next morning after a game? Yeah, no, this is actually the more traditional model, to get the players back in on Monday. What we've been doing the last few years is, it's a viable option, and there's certain advantages to it. But we just thought, this year let's change it up, and for a couple reasons. One, to be able to put the previous game behind us earlier in the week, rather than waiting until Tuesday. So win or lose, and so get the players in. Plus, it gets the players in early. Really get to evaluate all of them physically even better. So I think we're liking this routine. In the immediate evaluation after the game, your center, Ryan Kelly, said that one thing we learned, unfortunately, in the season opener was just how tough Carson Wentz is because of the number of times he was hit and sacked on Sunday against Seattle. How much of that do you simply attribute to not having a whole lot of time with that first team offense, minimal time given the injury situations and different things on your offensive line and with your quarterback, and now finally being able to build upon at least having some game film with these guys to work from as well? Yeah, no, I think, as you said, Larra, not only has Carson missed a lot of reps, but some of our offensive linemen have as well. No excuse. It's just the reality. We went in with high expectations and was expecting to execute at a very high level. And so, number one, I got to give the Seahawks credit. They did a good job. But do I think we're going to continue to get better? Absolutely. And the continued practice time and getting familiar
with everybody is. As I think back to our past years when we've had new quarterbacks, it's taken us a minute to kind of get that stride. So I think with each week we'll get better and better.
And one thing we've learned as well about your teams is your offensive line can usually rises to the occasion given the challenge that is presented to them, with Aaron Donald 13.5 sacks last season, tied for second most in the NFL. The Rams defense accounted for 53 sacks over the course of last season. And I heard Jeff Saturday say when he was evaluating the matchup at hand that this is a point where this offensive line can prove to the rest of the NFL why they are the foundation of this team, why they are what this offense is built upon. How do you expect this O-line to rise to the challenge that there is with Aaron Donald and the rest of the pieces that they present as well?
Yeah, I mean this team was the #1 defense in the NFL last year, this unit. So it's a great challenge, and it starts with Aaron Donald. They got a bunch of really good players, but Jalen Ramsey's a great player. But we got great players as well. So I'm looking forward to the matchup. I think our guys are as well. Hey, we got all the respect in the world for Aaron Donald. I mean, because not only is a guy a great player, but he's a pro's pro, and the way he handles himself, he's great for the game. So this will be fun to watch, right? This will be fun to watch. A lot of people talk about how good our O-line is, and now we're going up against the best defense in the NFL, at least from last year. So that carries over until someone unseats them, and so we're looking forward to that challenge.
You always mention that establishing the run game is a priority. In week 1, Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines combined for 26 carries, right around 90 yards. How much do you need to see that improved production in your run game, not only to strike that balance that you like to achieve in the run and the pass, but also to create those opportunities for explosive passing plays that we know Carson Wentz is certainly capable of?
Yeah, no, I really important to run the ball better than we did. When we say we want to run the ball effectively, that's not always tied to how many yards. Mm-hmm. There is a correlation for sure, but it's not just that. And so certainly we can do better, and we have to do better. We're able to get Jonathan and Nyheim touches in the pass game. I thought we did a good job of that. You get some of those short passes, they can be kind of effective runs as well. But there's no doubt when it comes to wanting to try to create explosive passes down the field, it helps when you can run the ball better than we did last week.
And last year you saw Matt Stafford when he was with the Detroit Lions. Now in his Rams debut, 3 passing touchdowns, no interceptions, over 300 yards passing. What's going to be key defensively for matching up with him in this new system with a quarterback who seems to be really rejuvenated, revitalized in this second stanza of his career now with the LA Rams?
Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing for our defense is that, we're playing the same offensive system we played last week. So as far as familiarity with it, as far as, how we might want to attack it, I'm sure we'll change a few things up. But, the more you get used to seeing a scheme, usually the better you get at defending it. So obviously a talented Rams unit. Stafford is obviously a very good quarterback, and all the respect in the world to him. He had a great game. I had a chance, obviously, to watch most of it. So, we're going to have to. It's going to have to start, Larra, with stopping the run, doing a better job stopping the run than we did last week.
We always know that your players place a priority on bringing the effort and the intensity. The fans also did that in week 1. We're going to need a repeat performance from the fans at Lucas Oil Stadium because they were loud, they were strong, they were certainly bringing the juice. 63,000 strong for that season debut. We're going to need it again. Tons of excitement for Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James to be honored at halftime. Coach, what are you expecting from the fans and the juice level this week?
Well, I'm glad we get another shot again. We're aiming not to disappoint them this week. Certainly glad to have Peyton and Edgerrin. It'll be great to have them watching as well.
Hey, 2 players that were part of the winningest decade in NFL history. No better way to celebrate than with a victory.
Be true to myself and play my game. I know what my strengths and weaknesses are, so really try to magnify my strengths and cut down the weaknesses, and then just having a great team around me. I don't have to do everything by myself.
Rushing, receiving, returning, Nyheim Hines does it all. And while he's a nightmare for defenses to scheme against, what is it that haunts the Colts running back? We'll find out next, right here on Colts 360.
I think it's important to use my platform to really demonstrate that people care about one another.
It's so important to raise awareness for mental health, just because, I mean, we all go through it.
It's just something that, you know, growing up, I just didn't hear much about.
Sometimes you just got to ask somebody, you know, are you okay, or how are things doing? You'd be surprised, you know, how important that question is, you know, how are you doing today?
It's important to put your pride aside to, you know, talk to somebody about something else that you're going through. There are a lot of people out in this world who have huge hearts, who care about any and everyone, and we need to make sure that we let everyone know that their life matters, they matter, to stay positive.
It's okay to not be okay.
You are not alone. Vulnerability is a strength.
You are enough.
Sunday is the first ever game dedicated to Kicking the Stigma, an initiative by the Irsay family and the Indianapolis Colts to raise awareness and resources for mental health. You can get your own Kicking the Stigma shirt like you just saw on Kenny Moore II, DeForest Buckner, Jonathan Taylor, and Jack Doyle by going to Colts.com/KTS. Back now on Colts 360 and joined by not only a fan favorite, but newly minted with that 3-year contract extension, running back Nyheim Hines. That contract extension not only ties you to the Indianapolis Colts for the foreseeable future, allows you to remain with the team that drafted you for another 3 years, also solidifies you as one of the top 10 highest paid running backs in the league. Should that be enough for people to finally stop calling you a gadget guy?
You know, it doesn't even matter at this point. You know, the whole gadget guy thing, I think we've took this and ran with it for long enough. But I just want to be called a football player. But, you know, in life and everything else, if you don't stand up for yourself, society will put a label on you. So blessed for the deal, humbled and honored, and I look at it as a 4-year advance. You know, they didn't have to give me the contract. They gave it to me early, and I plan to earn every penny of it.
Well, you have already earned everything that you have done so far within this organization. Explain just a little bit for people why it is kind of a knock on a back to be considered a gadget guy, especially a guy who's as versatile in the offense as you are.
I think that I view it as a knock personally, because normally they call the smaller backs the guys under 200 pounds, the 205-pound backs, the guys who wouldn't be considered a bell cow. They call us a gadget guy. And I really don't like it because it's kind of like the term jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah.
And, you know, I like to think I'm a master of a lot of things, like, you know, catching the football, running the football, and punt return. So I think gadget guy is just a knock.
Well, we have a fun little segment. We're going to cue up the spooky music because you are now known. You've had a number of different nicknames. Nightmare. NYGHTMARE for Nyheim the Nightmare is the latest one. First of all, how did that nickname come about?
It came about a long time ago, actually. Shout out to Joe Gigolo. You're getting your famous and your world to glory right now. But Joe Gigolo coined it, like, I think my sophomore, junior year of high school. I don't think I actually liked it. I didn't buy into it. And then even in college, they had a poster of me screaming, and I was a nightmare on Hillsborough Street. So. Great nightmare. It's a great name, and you know, I think I am a nightmare, you know, with receiving, running, and kicking the ball. So I think it's just something I finally bought into.
Indeed, you are a bit of a nightmare. We're going to ask, though, some of what your nightmares are. I got a few of them right here. Give me, who is your nightmare defender to have to face?
Nightmare defender. Probably any of those dominant defensive guys, like the guy we're playing this week, Aaron Donald, Khalil Mack, Von Miller, any of those guys.
How about nightmare venue to play in? Hostile environment, nightmare place, tough place to play as somebody that's an offensive guy going into visiting territory.
Obviously, probably Kansas City, you know, from our past there, and then playoffs. And I'd probably say Seattle, just because of how my first career game went. We don't have to rehash on my rookie preseason, but I think I still have nightmares about that. I'd love to go back there and, you know, try to set the record straight.
How about nightmare road game travel scenario? Like the place you do not want to be on the team plane or whatever it is when you're the worst thing you can think of.
On the road wearing white and just spilling like some Kool-Aid or something red on me, which I've done before. It was embarrassing, and my mom didn't like it.
Oh no, this happened?
Yeah, this has happened.
Oh my, what'd you do?
I think I was drinking like a Pedialyte or something. I think I was drinking like a red Gatorade. Had like a nice little button-up shirt, spilled it.
Oh.
You know, my mom didn't dress me in white, so I was like 15 for a reason. So.
You cannot disappoint mom. That's like rule number one.
I was so disappointed.
Do you have a reoccurring nightmare of your own, aside from spilling the red Gatorade or the colored Pedialyte on your white shirt? Do you have any reoccurring nightmares?
Right now, no. Maybe my first 2 or 3 years in the league, my preseason. I don't even think it was how I played bad. I mean, I had some mishaps here and there, but I think it was just hearing all the negativity around it, like just hearing how everybody was telling me I would get cut and all those things. So we're over that now, but I did think about that for a long time.
How did you get past that? Because that's tough as a rookie to have that you're facing, you know, maybe that scrutiny and that criticism and those early hurdles that you had to overcome.
Great teammates. Every time I would go over there and put my head down, Robert Turbin would scream at me, tell me to pick my head up, and you got to keep going. Marlon Mack, and then you know, family. Like my dad came up here and hung out with me for a week when I was doing bad, and just Frank and Chris just telling me they still had faith and trust in me. And, you know, when you get a great team around you, it's great because it takes a village. It takes a village to raise somebody. So I had a lot of people help me through it.
And I know you were helping a lot of the guys around you to lift them up as well this season. How are you in 2021 going to become an even bigger nightmare for opposing D coordinators to scheme up against?
Truthfully, just be myself, be true to myself, and play my game. I know what my strengths and weaknesses are, so really try to magnify my strengths and cut down the weaknesses, and then just having a great team around me. I don't have to do everything by myself. And we have guys out wide making plays, and JT, some of the pressure with me and where I'm at all the time sometimes gets lost. So having a great team will help.
Hey, rushing, receiving, returning. This guy does it all. Can't wait to see it on Sunday as the Colts kick off against the LA Rams at Lucas Oil Stadium. That's a wrap for this week's Colts 360. Thanks for spending part of your weekend with us.